What's up, y'all? Hey, question of the day. Why haven't you started your handyman business yet? I mean, what's holding you back? Is it time, money, skill level? You got family that maybe is not on board, other obligations? Man, I'm pretty sure I had all the reasons you could think of not to start, but at some point, you just got to take a leap of faith. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that you got to quit your job or do anything drastic. Absolutely not. I just want you to think about, the situation and from different perspectives. Think about time, for instance. Time. I mean, the problem with time is that, nobody's promised tomorrow. So if you keep thinking like, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna push it back and I'm gonna just keep waiting, then, next thing you know, it's a decade later and you're still thinking about it, right? Or, you're gathering information, you're doing research, and then you're watching all the shows and you're watching all the tutorials and you're, trying to gather all the information, but you get stuck in gathering information mode for another decade. When at some point, you just got to get out there. And it's nothing drastic. Like I said, nothing drastic. You don't have to quit your job or anything like that. It's just, starting on the weekend. Starting to do a job from time to time. Maybe take a job or two a month just to get the feel of it. So, you're not just sitting on the sidelines thinking about it. I mean, I bought a truck in 2016? And with the intention of starting the business. I didn't start the actual business until 2018. And it was like the time just flew by. I wasn't that busy. I wasn't so busy I couldn't have been starting, doing part-time work or anything. It was just that I let life get the best of me and I just didn't focus in on what I was trying to do. Now, some people just want a couple extra dollars or whatever. That's fine. I'm not even saying to get out here and you have to start an entire business and just do that full time. Even though if you do that, you're most likely going to make more money than you ever made versus a regular job. I mean, if you're working in tech or something like that, and then maybe not. But most of us out here are just getting by if we're being honest about it. I mean, think about it. I think the average person, the average adult in the United States makes between $30,000 and $50,000 a year. Come on. And this kind of takes us right into the family portion of this, which is, if your family is on board or they're not on board or however it works, your significant other, there are ways to help push people along to get them on page, on the same page as you. Hey, my wife, it's not like she was just super happy for me to tell her that, I was going to quit a job I've been at almost 15 years to just go full time into a handyman business that I didn't have any experience in. So I wouldn't recommend that. And matter of fact, now that I just said it out loud, it kind of sounds ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds totally crazy. But anyway, don't do that. Well, let me say this. One thing in my defense. I mean, my wife did know that I was a go-getter. You know what I mean? So she did know that if I was going to go into something, I was going to put my all into it. So that's one thing to help your spouse get on board is they got to know that you're that type, is that when you're going to go for something, you're all in. It also doesn't hurt when you start bringing in that extra cash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that never hurts. So especially if you're able to stack it up a little bit, buy something, do something that you normally don't get to do, that definitely helps. And as far as the kids go, kids don't care if you got to miss a game here and there. As long as you're present, you do what you need to do. And then you can also make them feel part of it. Make them feel like, ask them questions and how they feel and take them out to do some of the jobs. They enjoy it. And it's also good for them. So, hey, I think it's a win all the way around. What's up, y'all? It's Daryl, also known as The Finisher. Hey, this is the part of the video I got to tell you to subscribe to get some more of this work. Also, so we can spread this message about the handyman trade throughout the entire YouTube land. All right? So, subscribe, like. Now let's get to the next job. All right. Y'all know the topic today is how come you haven't started your handyman business yet? Well, talked a little bit about time, about family, but now we're going to talk about money. The thought of starting a business, it can seem daunting, especially if you're struggling. And I understand, because I'd mentioned before that I was at a point where I was really struggling when I started. Now, luckily, I had done work in the past, so I had some tools and I had a truck that I told you I bought. Realistically, you can start with the vehicle that you have now. I mean, look, the first time when I was thinking about starting a handyman business, and then I saw a truck drive by that said something about dryer vents, and I was like, you telling me there's a business that's all they do is dryer vents? I was shocked. And then come to find out later on, I mean, it's not only a legitimate business, but you can do it with a very small amount of money to get started. I mean, there's things like that. There are a lot of businesses out there like that where you don't need a ton of money. Like I said, hey, if you have access to a ladder, you don't need a bunch of money to clean gutters out. You don't need a bunch of money to, do window cleaning. There's just so many things that are low-hanging fruit. So I understand money is an obstacle. Don't let it be an impediment. Yeah, I said impediment. I use big words, man. Not just the finisher is not just a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? It's a combination of brains and beauty. Anyway, so, I understand that sometimes we get worried about money just because it's a natural thing to do. But I'm telling you that there are a lot of different things you can do. Like I told you, furniture assembly. If I could just start making a list of all the things that you can do. Some of these things less than $100. Less than $100, you can get out here and start getting this work done. And then once you build up, then you start buying the tools. Then you start buying and start moving towards the things that you actually want to do. I totally understand the dichotomy. It's the old thing where, hey, you can't get the job if you don't have the experience, but you need the experience to get the job. It's one of those things. And I can understand the playing tricks with your mind, where, well, you need money to start, but how do you get the money if you don't start? You see what I'm saying? So we got to just get past that and start really breaking down what things that we can get into. And there's more out there than you think. I mean, I gave you a list of them already, but there's definitely more to it. Remember, money's just an obstacle, not an impediment. You can get over, you can climb over it, you can get around something, you can get to where you need to get. We creating that's what we're doing. You need to be a handyman ninja warrior. All right. I ain't seen one of they have the, every time you watch the show, they got somebody with the title. I ain't even see the handyman ninja warrior yet. That's what you need to be. Next thing, I get it. Skill level. A lot of people are worried about their skill level and thinking they don't have enough skills because maybe they didn't have a job and for years they weren't working in construction or working with the, remodel crew or being an insulator like I was. You don't necessarily have had work experience in this to get into the handyman trade. On top of that, this is one of those where you choose what you want to do. So, I said before, when I started, I was only going to do tile and flooring. Hadn't had that much experience in tile, had a little bit in flooring, but that's all I was going to do. What you need to know is that skills can be taught. And as long as they can be taught, they can be learned. They can be learned. You can teach yourself. So I don't put skills at the top because you can develop skill. I had on a video talking about people that are technicians and people that are artists, and there's a difference between the two. Yeah. Well, I mean, I might not have the time to be an artist at it, but I can definitely I'm a technician, and that's fine. 99% of the people out there, that's what they want. They want that person to work on their stuff. But that's up to you. I mean, raising your skill level, like I said, getting out there, getting the training that you need or that you want, that's up to you and nobody else. So people always say that in this, it's just a reality. I'm be honest with you. It's when you want something, when you really want something, those are the things you go after. So do you want it? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Do you want it? Do you want to learn this stuff for real? Don't lie to yourself. And if you do, put in the work. Now, this next one is for especially the people that are thinking about going full time. You have that thought, but You have something in the way that's called a decent job, where you're really scared to lose the benefits, or you're really scared to just lose that paycheck that's guaranteed every month, even if, or every 2 weeks, or whatever your pay schedule is, even if that means you're gonna struggle. I'm trying to tell you, I did that. I did it for almost 15 years. And when I went into the job, I had no plans on staying that long. It's just one of those things where, like, we went back to time. It's like years go by, and the next thing you know, man, I've been here a decade and a half. It's crazy, and I'm hardly making much more than I did when I started. And I'm not saying if you're somebody out here that's making good money in tech or just whatever you're doing, that, you know, you should just quit your job. I'm not even saying you should just quit your job in general. Like, I'm not a believer in that. I think that you should just get started, because there was a song by a dude named Molly Music, one of my favorite songs, man, called Walking Shoes. And what the song was about was, hey, you put your walking shoes on and you start walking towards your goal, and your goal is going to meet you halfway. You don't know what halfway is. You have no idea. So the only way you're going to get there is if you get started headed in that direction. Listen, check that song out, man. I mean, it's a great song. But until you start going in that direction, you're not going to know. So you need to get something started. Don't let the job hold you back. You know, we've been tricked for too long to think that that's the only way to make it, is that 9 to 5. So, but hey, don't quit because I said so. You get yourself ready. All right. With that being said, hey man, like, comment, subscribe. We on to the next one. So look at this ceiling, man. It's beautiful. All right. Stay safe and be blessed.